Hi, I'm Dr. Helen Hu. In this video, I will present my theory for explanation of the Chinese acupuncture meridian. I have termed and copyrighted it as microcellular meridian network. In a short term, micro meridian network or MMN. This theory not only explains what is meridian in human body, but in fact, it also explains all living things, both animal and plants on the earth. In the past several decades, scientists have been trying to prove the acupuncture meridian actually exists in the human body and how physiological response and changes after acupuncture treatment. Some medical professions assume that those meridians are nerve systems or circulatory system or maybe fascia systems, but no one of them can completely explain what is a meridian system and what is the traditional Chinese medicine based on. Microcellular meridian theory is one of the biggest breakthroughs for the decades to explain what is meridian and the whole foundation of traditional Chinese medicine. About 20 years ago, I met young physicists that worked at the Human Science Institute. He described an experiment that involved injecting an isotope to the last point of a long meridian, located at the distal point of a thumb. It was to his surprise, after tracing the pathway of the isotope, that it exactly followed the lung meridian to the lung organ. But anatomically, this phenomenon is not explainable. So, what is meridian? It still remains unanswered. In 2015, I met with a retired physicist, Shen Yiluo, PhD, who used to work with a group of physicists awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize. With the view of physics of meridian, he stated, "Our explanation is that meridians are made of matter, similar to what the surrounding tissue are made of, with the exception of meridians are ordered with a system of permanent electrical dipoles." His physics experiment test involved tracing energy photon along the Chinese meridian map. But all the energy along the meridian also spread to surrounding tissue. Defining what is a meridian remained a mystery. So, what is meridian? Before I start to describe what meridians are made of, let's look at the typical Google map in a given district. The first thing we can see turned on Google map is a district of a city. We can see the main highway and freeways. From the highway or freeway, it branches out to bigger avenue and then branch off to many different streets. The street branch out to smaller street, and the smaller street continue to branch out to smallest pathway to each individual resident plat, such as house or apartment building. We can see the map clearly because the Google map only shows the street on the map. Similarly, there are meridians only chart drawn on human form. However, in reality, we cannot see those meridians when we look at our body, which is covered with the skin systems. Then we open up skin systems. We only can see part of our muscle and skeletal and circulatory systems. Just like when we looked at the same district on Google Map with expanded satellite view, We only see clusters of house, lakes, terrain, topography, and a major freeway. There's no way we can find the smallest pathway to each individual residence. As such, we are confused and lost when we looked at the satellite map. And in the same way, a realistic human anatomy with the naked eye. Let's imagine each cell of human body to be just like each house, with the smaller pathway around each house shown on the Google map. A group of houses form a community, like the same cells together to form an organ. Each individual house has its own pathway to connect with its neighbor house and then to the whole community. All smaller pathways of the whole community are merged together to form a main pathway and then again to form a main street from connecting with other communities. Then the main street from different communities are merged again to connect to main freeway or highway. Of course, along the main highway, it connects to hundreds of community streets that are formed from every pathway of millions of each individual house. Our body meridian is formed the same way. Meridians are started from the small pathway of each individual cells of each organ of the body, such as the liver, kidney, skin, and the sense organs. This micromeridian around the cells actually is a small space around the cell. I term it as microcellular meridian. Massive of those microcellular meridian pathway merged within an organ to form a main pathway. Then I term it as microcellular meridian network, or MCMN. We can see the main pathway in the form of thin fascia-like tissues. All those thin fascia tissues form microcellular meridian network in muscles, bone, skin, and organ connected together form a widely connected yet concentrated high volume of information channel to connect all tissues and organs. This is the meridian, but visually not like the substantial freeway easily seen on the Google map. We have to understand that the space among the cells, or the microcellular pathway or microcellular meridian, are responsible for cells communication, water exchange, electrolyte oxygen exchange, and eliminating metaboli, and hormone exchange information from a distant organ. The communicating and exchanging information with our living environment. Massive microcellular meridian network from each organ and tissues form those meridians, and the meridians connect and conduct communication with each cell's organ and system information in every level of the whole body and our environment. A potent microcellular meridian network is vital for normal function of a cell, organ, and the body as whole. And each cell's pathway is a basic cell unit of microcellular meridian network, named as micromeridian unit. Microcellular meridian network theory explains why some area of a body can be traced and connected to other part of a body. such as reflex point of the body and the organ, can be seen in the ear, hand, feet, and our brain tissue. And furthermore, microcellular meridian theory can explain whole traditional Chinese medicine's fundamentals and five-element science. Thank you for watching. That is part 1 of my microcellular meridian network theory. This is Dr. Helen Hu. Bye-bye.